First drafts suck. When I read my first draft for my last video, I visibly cringed. I had to ask myself, is this what my life has come to? Why am I writing worse than an 8-year-old?
Oh, my life!
But then I fixed it and now that video's on my channel. That's just how writing works, man. You write something you hate and want to burn in a dumpster fire, and then you fix it and end up with something you're kind of proud of. And that's exactly what John Hughes did with The Breakfast Club. Cause oh golly gee, I just read the movie's original draft, and it's really something. It had some really weird, really unnecessary plot points, like Principal Vernon being a pervert, Claire stealing a car, and a sort of Disney Channel tie-it-with-a-bow wrap-up.
Oh, and Jason? Yeah? Thanks. Anytime.
But the minute I knew I had to make a video about this was when I saw the stage direction and the original script reading, Robin is working out on a leg machine. Her firm, muscular legs open and close to the music. Vernon is mesmerized by the opening and closing of the beautiful legs. And that is just one of the spectacular lines we lost out on when they cut out the side plot I like to call Vernon's Pervin. Okay, I've never called it that before. But let's take this little pervert plot from the top. In the original script, right after the scene where Bender is talking about his home life, we cut to Vernon talking with another teacher in the hall. Vernon tells him that working weekends isn't all drudgery, and leads him to the school gym to show him a fitness class exercising to aerobic dancing disco music, whatever the hell that is. My mans continues to straight up pull out binoculars to gawk at this fitness teacher, who, as Vernon puts it, is wearing very little.
It's a bit nipply out. I mean nippy out. What am I saying?
And we get this brilliant, just chef's kiss stage direction. Close up, binocular view, her face, then her bouncing boobs, then her bouncing buns, and back to her face.
Why would you sew secretly? Why would you prune privately? Why would you cull clandestinely, hidden hoeing and whatnot?
Are you done?
But Arnard, then the teacher takes a break, and a dumpy middle-aged housewife takes her place. But don't you worry, kids, a pervert's always got a plan. So Vernon, like any completely sane guy would, follows her to the weight room. And finally, we arrive back at Vernon goggling at the opening and closing of the beautiful legs. And just in case you didn't get the point, it's made clear that this is an inadvertently erotic exercise. So yeah, man, you tell me, do you think this would have made a good addition to the movie? For real though, I feel like this was a very 80s plot point, very 16 Candles-esque, you know, where men being sleazebags and objectifying women is treated as a fun boys will be boys moment, and I genuinely think it could have ruined the movie if they left it in. Because the movie hits on such heavy topics like Bender's home life or the reason Brian is in detention that I think this plotline is really incompatible. It gives you whiplash going from, yeah, this child is in an abusive household, also booby, but really this child just feels so unloved and so unwanted, but tits, they're bouncing. And if that sentence kind of made you cringe, then I'm so sorry, but you get the point. But hey, speaking of heavy topics in the movie, let's move on to the murder of Andy's character. In the final cut of the movie, Andy's breakdown is gut-wrenching. He confesses that he's in detention because he taped a kid's butt cheeks together to impress his dad, of all things. He goes on to talk about how much he regrets it, how much he hates his dad, and how he's terrified of who he's becoming to win his approval.
And I started thinking about my father and his attitude about weakness. And the next thing I knew, I jumped on top of him and started wailing on him. I mean, how do you apologize for something like that? There's no way. It's all because of me and my old man. God, I fucking hate him. He's like this mindless machine that I can't even relate to anymore. Andrew, you've got to be number one. I won't tolerate any losers in this family. Your intensity is for shit. Win! 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 You son of a bitch.
In the original script, you want to know why he's in detention? He blew up football practice. That's it. He gets a shallow, my standards are too high, or it's not my dream, dad, it's yours, and then we just move on. I hate this so much. Andy is my favorite character in The Breakfast Club because he starts off as the responsible one, the one you'd assume would be the leader. But as the movie goes on, we see him start to relax, and we realize that he never wanted to be the leader. He never wanted to be the star player. He just wants to feel loved. He just wants his dad to be proud of him for the first time in his life, and he is terrified of what he's becoming to get that.
You don't talk to her. You don't look at her. And you don't even think about her. You understand me?
And when he breaks down, he realizes that he doesn't really need his dad's love. He just needs love. And to make him so trivial, so empty of a character is a crime, and it takes away what I think is one of the best moments in the entire movie. Also, as long as we're on detention reasons, Claire's was really weird in the draft. In the final cut, we're told she's in detention for skipping school to shop, but there's a little more detail given here. Apparently, she stole a driver's ed car, specifically the type that has separate controls for the instructor, went to the mall with a friend, and when they were on their way back to the school, they saw a cop car, panicked, both of them tried to steer the car, and they hit the cop car head on. This is just kind of odd, I guess. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it does seem a bit pointless, and it doesn't really fit the tone of the movie, so I definitely see why they cut it out. But as much as I hate what they did to Andy's character, that's not even the worst part of the draft. The worst part is after the group therapy scene where everybody is telling how they got detention. Right after that scene, the fitness teacher Vernon was creeping on earlier, named Robin, comes into the library.
Oh, hello.
Now all the kids are very ratherly confused as to why this random teacher is here, but don't worry, gang. She's gonna deliver helpful life lessons. The script has her genuinely play the cool teacher card, saying she wasn't always a teacher, she was once a normal person.
I know what it's like to struggle to make good life choices.
She goes on to say, teachers dish out punishment as though it's going to solve a problem. People don't obey rules out of fear of punishment, but responsibility to themselves and society. Before I forget what it was like to be your age, I'd like to share a couple thoughts with you. I feel like that's already right on the edge, but she goes on, saying, this is a very small part of your total life's history. It's only 4 years. When you graduate, you've got another 60 years left of living to do. As you get older, you'll look back on these years as the best of your life. As shitty as you might think things are now, in 10 years, all you'll remember is how great it was. This is awful. This is the most patronizing, condescending thing that anyone has ever said, ever. It's an adult coming in, telling all of these high schoolers that they should just get over their trauma because they'll miss it soon. Brian will miss that good old crushing standard of perfection. Allison will miss being ignored. Claire will miss being used as a weapon by her parents. It's BS, it's preachy, and it would have been the final nail in the coffin for The Breakfast Club. At least that's what I was gonna say before I remembered how the ending monologue originally went. It starts out pretty similar, but stick with me here. Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to ask us to write an essay telling you who we think we are. What do you care? You see us how you want to see us. John's crazy and bad, Kathy's beautiful and spoiled, Andy's strong and mature, Allison's Looney Tunes, and Brian's brilliant. That's pretty much how we see ourselves. What we found out, sir, was that we're all crazy and bad and beautiful and spoiled and strong and mature and Looney Tunes and brilliant. Take it or leave it. Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club. I think writer John Hoare best described what makes this speech seem so wrong when he said, the basics are there, but stripped of any power at all. And I think that really describes this whole draft. The characters are there, the idea is there, but they just don't mean anything. They don't make you feel anything. The extra storylines with Vernon Pervin or Claire stealing a car, or the addition of the exercise teacher and her tell-don't-show way of summarizing the lesson we're supposed to learn, it all dilutes the main message of the movie, that we're all just human, and we're all just broken. That being said, it is important to remember that this was just a first draft, and I am so glad it was made because it gave a chance for the actual Breakfast Club to exist, and it's one of my favorite movies now. But I've just rambled on a lot, so that's where I'm gonna leave this for now, but let me know your favorite 80s movie in the comments. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.